3 things that you were always told were bad for you but are no less than therapeutic or medicinal. Why should you listen to me when I'm proposing not to listen to the most others who have always said these things to you? Listen up. This video calls in for a lot of exploration, experimentation and implementation. And believe me, if you're willing to explore, experiment and implement my recommendations after successful experiments, your life is going to change for good starting today. So without wasting any more time, let me start by telling you the first thing that I think is therapeutic but is always told is not good for you. And that is hunger. I found out, and a lot of you might have already found it out, that hunger is something that must be experienced every single day. Why? Numerous reasons behind it. Now, my attempt of this video is to tell you about these 3 things and let you go on your own journey of exploration and finding out things for yourself. Okay, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on how. You can always pause the video and look at my list. Let me tell you that hunger helps you build your immunity. It reduces free radical damage. It regulates inflammatory conditions. It also starves cancer cells. Hunger also improves your insulin sensitivity, which is often at the is a root cause of diabetes, which, as you know, is a root cause of a lot of other illnesses. Hunger improves metabolism. No, you do not die. You do not die by staying hungry for 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, even 24 hours every day. So there are people who eat only once every day and are really healthy, not only physically but mentally as well. So hunger improves your metabolism. It improves your longevity. So if you're able to experience hunger every day, you will live longer, and that's proven scientifically. You can explore further. It does something really interesting called autophagy, which is your body consuming your own dead or poor quality cells, and thereby delaying aging and actually causing you to look younger. So if you're able to experience hunger every day, you will probably look younger. Well, do not judge a book by its cover. So I've just started. So I took a few years, rather decades, to learn these things. I'm not an epitome of my learning, but I've learned these things, experienced these things, and that's only when I bring them to my videos. Worth an experiment, worth an exploration. It detoxifies. It brings about even more benefits that I've mentioned here on the slides. But like I said, explore for yourself. I claim that hunger is therapeutic for you. How do you experience it? I would like to share my own experience. I practice intermittent fasting. Fasting is practiced in a lot of cultures and religions. A lot of them have also diluted the way or the purpose of fasting. Ideal way of fasting is to have just water or non-calorific healthy drinks like green tea, detox water, and that is how you really fast. You can start with intermittent fasting by limiting your eating window to only 12 hours. Let's say 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. Look at your lifestyle and try to push yourself a little more. Try to experience an extra hour or 2 of hunger every day, and gradually build a habit of consuming your meals from sunrise to sunset. That's what this Ayurveda has always advocated. That's what a lot of people practice. I practice even more stringent fasting, and trust me, from the time I've started to practice this, I've experienced the benefits myself. But hunger is medicinal for you. You do not starve in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of staying hungry as well. So make fasting a lifestyle. I'll move on to the next habit, and a lot of you may hate me for it, but developing a thick skin. What do I mean by that? Not being impacted by anything and everything that anybody or everybody says to you. This is extremely important and therapeutic for your mental health. In the current days, where everybody has an access to your personal space through digital media, through telecom. If we start to pay attention, and more than attention, if we start to be sensitive to everything that people say to us, we may lose our peace of mind. Developing a thick skin is extremely important for your mental health. You cannot please everybody. Now, you would not go to somebody's house, knock at their doors and start criticizing them, would you? But people do this all the time. When they come to your Facebook wall, when they come to your Instagram page and leave hurtful comments, they may be right, but their ways are not if they're hurting you. Their ways may also be right. They may have the right intention, they may mean well for you, but if you're hurt, you can't afford that. You cannot afford to be hurt by every comment made by everybody. So it's very, very important to develop thick skin, especially if you aim high and you wish to have big goals in life. If you have big goals in life and your vision needs you to be past these daily trolling and remarks and hurtful comments, you must develop thick skin. It helps you accept life as is, it helps you defeat labels, and it also allows you to focus on your bigger goals. Now, how do you implement that in everyday life? Calls for another video for itself, and I will have it in place. But in short, first thing first, every time, every moment you find yourself in a difficult situation, in an argument, in a debate, or reading or hearing a negative remark about yourself which does not make you feel very good, that makes you uncomfortable, the first thing, without giving a thought, that you must do is pause. That pause gives you an opportunity to assess. When you pause, you assess the situation. You may apply various filters. What is being said, is that true or false? Do they mean good? Do they matter? What is their intention? Once you're able to think about all of this, you will be able to decide your right course of action and your response to that individual. More often than not, they do not even deserve a response, and responding to such situations or remarks or comments will only make your life miserable, will make you lose some more precious time which you could have spent otherwise focusing on something, one of your bigger goals. Also, when you do that, when you pause, when you assess the situation and decide your response, here's what I call a rabbit's tail formula. If one person comes to you and tells you that you've got a rabbit's tail, you may think the person is silly. If 2 or 3 people say the same thing, you may feel that they are conspiring and playing a prank. But if 8, 9, 10 or 7 people come to you and say that you've got a rabbit's tail, even if it sounds ridiculously unbelievable, it's time you turn back and check. Why are they saying it? Somebody might just have played a prank, and you might really have a rabbit's tail at your back. But if 7 or 8 people are saying so, it's worth an effort. It's worth your effort to turn around and check for the rabbit's tail there. While you do all of this, you're pausing, you're assessing what you're going through, who is making you go through it, do they matter, what they mean, do they intend well, do they deserve a response, what should I say in response? While you do all of that, smile. I know it sounds way easier than it is indeed, and it is so, but it's worth your effort. Like I always say, smile and fake it. Fake being comfortable, fake smiling. Trust me, when you do that all the time, when you practice it enough, you will develop that muscle of naturally smiling in difficult situations, and your very act of smiling will put the other person in a difficult situation. So that is what your first response should be. You should develop thick skin. You should not get straight away sensitive. It's okay to feel bad. Start with faking a smile, pausing, assessing, and then choosing your responses. It will be worth all your effort, and you will not always find it very difficult once you start practicing it. So the second thing that I propose is medicinal for your mental health is developing thick skin. first one was to experience hunger. That's medicinal for your physical health. What is the third one? Now again, a lot of you are going to hate me for saying this, and I'm not going to build on and elaborate a lot on the third point here, because that also calls for another video for itself. But again, explore, experiment and see for yourself, and then implement. Your life will change starting today. So the third thing that people say is not good but is actually medicinal for you is being a good badass. What do I mean? Yes, you need to be a badass in the current era. You cannot choose to be good or bad. You are what you are. But if you're not a badass, you need to develop habits and behaviors which make you look like one, so that in order to implement your goodness or spread your goodness around, you can defeat the badness out there. You cannot defeat the badness by being good. Yes, a lot of you may argue with that, saying, always the good always wins over evil, but not by being saintly. Good wins over evil by picking up a few evil practices. You have to kill to defend sometimes, and that's what I mean here. In this era, if you're aiming high, if you have big goals, you perhaps will come across a situation you either have already, you do often, or you will at certain most critical points in your life be in a situation where being a badass will be your only choice. And if you have the practice, you will win out there. Remember, if you fight with a pig, it will not only drag you into dirt, but will also beat you out of experience and will enjoy the whole thing, because you're fighting with a pig. You need to be a badass there. It's detrimental for your long-term success. A lot of you will experience such situations when you grow up the ladder in your corporate life, in your professions. A lot of you may also experience it in your personal lives. It is detrimental for your success and peace of mind. And if you do, or you can, mean well. Always mean well. Okay? Now, how do you reap the benefits? Well, there are a lot of things that you can do. Some of you would have already understood the significance of visibility. You do a lot, but you don't get enough recognition. Personally or professionally, you need to raise your visibility game. How you do that? We'll talk about that in future. Remember, here we want to know about those things that I claim are medicinal for you, but you're always told that they were not good for you. So being a good badass is one of those, and one of the ways to achieve it is to enhance your visibility game. Self-promotion could be needed. You need the world to see the goodness you bring to the table, the goodness you're spreading in the world, if they don't see it by themselves. So self-promotion could be one. Assert yourselves. A lot of times you may be uncomfortable while you do know that what you're doing is for a good cause. Assert yourself. Manipulate if required. Manipulate the evil. Be diplomatic in order to ensure that you get your way through to the point that you are targeting. Smile. Smile, and that's your best defense as well as your best offense whenever it's needed. You need an offense, smile. You need to defend yourself, smile. I will in future sometimes talk about the 48 Laws of Power. It's a great book, one of the all-time bestsellers. Go ahead, read it, and if you cannot, try to look up the summaries. There are beautiful summaries available online. Look up the summaries, and that pretty much sums up what I mean by being a good badass. You may not agree to this idea right now, and I wish you come across that situation, because those situations where your values are challenged, where the good you has to bring about the bad her or him outside, will definitely be a situation which will make you grow and grow really well in life. So that's that. Those are my 3 things that I claim are medicinal and therapeutic for you, and you might have been raised being told that these are bad for you. Don't be hungry, you will starve to death. You should listen to people. You should care. Develop thicker skin instead. be a good badass, or be a badass. Good or bad, you already are. Be a badass, or at least have the skills to be one when need be. Now those were my top 3 things which one must have, must experience in order to achieve great success in life, especially if you have big giant goals. Try them out yourself, experiment, explore, implement if you find sense in it, practice, develop it like a muscle, and it will change your life for good. My name is Shipra Singh and I've been a learning and development consultant since 2008. You can check out my detailed bio by clicking the link in the description. I hope this information helps. Enjoy self-development and happy progressing.